Hi, it's Chris from classicalguitarblog.net, and I had some requests to talk a little bit about sympathetic motion, so we're going to do a little bit of that today. Sympathetic motion is just the idea that as your fingers move, it forces your other fingers to move along with. So as I moves, M and A sort of tend to come along with, or as M moves, A comes along with, and so does your pinky. And you can really see this if you just roll a chord real quick, just one finger per string, and it feels like one big motion. That's pretty much the idea. And you can get a sense of how to take control of that with just MA if you play MA together. And then if you just put a little bit of tension on A, they sort of break apart, and if you put a little bit of tension on M, you can go the other way. So that it should feel like one motion when you move those two fingers. So at first it feels really like it's not controlled, but as you practice it more, you can kind of get a sense of how you can work with it and control it. So when MA are played together like that, that's called a composite stroke or a compound stroke, because you're really doing two fingers, but it should only feel like one motion. But you can also use sympathetic motion in other arpeggio patterns like PIM, for instance. What would happen, assuming that you weren't starting from the beginning, because you would just start with all your fingers on if you were just playing from the beginning. But P would play, IM would extend, then I comes off, and M comes off. So there's different stages of that. At the beginning you would just practice P, and then IM would plant at the same time that P flexes and plays. Then I would come off, and then M would get pulled off by I's motion. So it's more like a roll. But you can develop that and do like a full sequential plant too if you play P, and at the same time as P plays, I and M extend. I plants on the string, but M stays a little bit farther away. Then as I plays, M gets pulled onto the string, and then M plays. So it feels like one big motion. And Shear calls that the continuity stroke. Chris Berg talks about it in his technique book as well. So it's definitely not my idea or anything like that. And you can do it for things going the other way. P, M, I, P plays, MI extend at the same time, and M plants. M plays, pulls I onto the string, and then I plays. And again, it's more like a sensation. When I sort of got this down, I didn't really realize that I was doing sympathetic motion, but I was. It was really just from working with sequential planting stuff a lot, actually, and it just kind of happened. So you can take that for what it's worth. There's really just several different stages that beginners go through when they're trying to learn this kind of stuff. And the first is just that block planting thing where you put all your fingers down. And then you kind of move away from that and move towards planting in 2 units with your thumb and then all of your fingers. So as P plays, all your fingers plant. And then you kind of move into 3 units where it's P, I, and MA. So P plays, I plants, I plays, MA plants, M comes off, pulls A off with a composite stroke, and then you can develop that and do a full sequential plant by just kind of letting A stay a little bit farther away from the string during the composite stroke. So P plays, I, M, A extend, I plays, pulls M onto the string, M plays, and pulls A onto the string, and then A plays. You can do that with other 4-finger patterns too, like P, I, A, M. P plays, I, M, A extend, I plays, pulls A onto the string, M is a little bit away from the string, A plays, pulls M onto the string, and then M plays. So there's different stages that you kind of talk about. Would be the composite stroke that has opposing motion with it, like P, I, A, I. So that turns into sympathetic motion between P, I, A, and then a return with I for the last note. Same way for P, A, M, A. Sympathetic motion, P plays, A, M extend, A plays, pulls M onto the string, M plays, A returns. So it's a compound or composite stroke followed by a return from another finger. So sympathetic motion in general, it has more than a few applications obviously, but it doesn't necessarily work at all tempos. Obviously for quick things it works really well, but at a slower tempo it's not really necessary, but at a moderate tempo it kind of works pretty well too. Just takes a little bit more control to do it at a moderate tempo. It's really easy to do that, like the compound or composite stroke with MA really fast. But it's hard to do it slower. And the slower you go, the more you sort of lose that sensation that it's just one movement.